Welcome to the Career Mindset podcast, where we explore the journey of another exceptional individual shaping the world of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And because June is the month we celebrate diversity, I'm super excited to welcome a guest that I admire a lot, Kevin Withane. Kevin is a lawyer, investor, and DI advocate, and he has created meaningful change in both corporate and social spheres. As the founder and CEO of DiversityX, Kevin has been at the forefront of championing diversity and inclusion with different awards and honors, including the UK BAA Agile Investment Award for his commitment to fostering inclusive environments. So please join us as we explore Kevin's transformative journey and insights into his strategies for driving change and empowerment in the pursuit of equity for all. Welcome to the show, Kevin. It's an honor to have you here. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on. It's such an honor to be on this podcast.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I'd like you to start by sharing with us your journey from being a lawyer to becoming a DI advocate and founding DiversityX. What are the crucial moments or realizations that guided this transition?
I don't think they're separate things, and I did a lot of the work and my discovery around D&I whilst being a lawyer. I'd say it was probably around 2016, 17. I started thinking about it. I had a niece that was studying law. I'm a lawyer. Her dad's a lawyer. My cousin was also studying law, and I wanted to see the world, giving them the opportunities that was difficult. So I started exploring, like, why is this difficult?
Okay.
And it's through that I had covert studies done at work, like, what can we as lawyers do to change this? And I remember having something that I think it was 2018. I wanted to send to the legal team to a Women in Law conference, which clashed with our top management meeting. I thought playing golf and hanging out with colleagues you already know is going to be less valuable to them than going and learning. So I had a conversation with my boss at the time, who said, I don't see the point in this. I'll approve it, but I think it'd be better for them to stay. And the law is a great profession for diversity, to which I nearly fell off my seat, because clearly that is not. It's a terrible profession with diversity. That said, it's better than the investment world.
Okay, very interesting. And as someone deeply involved in both law and investment, then how do you see diversity, equity, and inclusion intersecting with these fields? And what steps can professionals take to ensure DI principles are embedded in their practices?
I think this can be data-driven. There's a lot of studies out there now which show that companies which embed D&I into their organizations perform financially better. It's sad that we have to rely on the financial case for doing the right thing.
Yes,
But
true.
this is the world we live in, unfortunately, and that's not going to change for some generations, I don't think. So let's give them what they want. They want data to show it. There's data that shows it. I mean, a simple Google search. I think the legal profession has taken greater steps towards being more inclusive and giving opportunities to lawyers from different backgrounds, whether that's gender, racial, sexual orientation, to move up the ranks and have great careers. But it's still really hard. Like, I remember when I started out, I qualified as a barrister, actually, and I was going for pupilages, and I was told, "Oh, you're the token for statistics," and they were right. I was, but I still managed to do it. But it needs to be better, like their access. And people can talk about, "Oh, I can't." The pipeline. It's always about the pipeline. Build the pipeline. Like, you've got an opportunity to shape the future. Go into schools where there's probably a lot more people from diverse backgrounds, and tell them the only barrier to being a great lawyer and to having success in a law firm is educational rigor. Like, if they can get past that, then the opportunity should exist, and we should create that for them.
Very interesting. So it's all about data then. And where do you think we need data? Is it like offering a proof of the of everything that we say? We need to have like a proof to support our sayings and our own information and knowledge.
Yeah, sadly, I think so. I
Okay.
think data gives people the proof points, but yet we still talk like the data's out there now.
Mm,
And can we really say the needle's truly moved?
mm-hmm.
I think moving the needle for so many, particularly corporates, is tick boxing. Okay, yeah, our board is now 30% female.
Yes.
Okay, what about your management team?
Yeah.
You know, what about the people below that? Where are the opportunities coming from? How are you going to give people the skills they need unless they get the opportunity to develop?
Very true. Very true. Wow. What are some common challenges organizations face when trying to foster diverse and inclusive environments? And what strategies have you found effective in overcoming these challenges?
They don't do the work. What I mean by that is, okay, we need to have a diversity program. Lands with HR, they're not skilled in the work that's needed. So they probably some overspend on technology or other solutions, third-party providers, without understanding what they're trying to achieve. And then it's like, okay, well, we need to bring in more people of diverse backgrounds at different into different roles. So that's great, but then how do you keep those people? The culture, like there's a lot of, it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole framework of work that needs to be done. And I think organizations fall down because what they do is they look at okay, we need to do this, tick the box, and they can tick the box and they make it too much of a checkboxing exercise rather than actually doing things that for other areas of the business they would do. Like we're going to have a change in our the way we focus on certain customers or types of business. They do the work. There's homework that's done before they make that decision, and that doesn't get done with DI or even like things like sustainability. It's like, okay, we've got to do this, so tick the box, done it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't achieve anything.
Okay, but have you found any effective strategies to help with that, to change that?
Yeah, I think working with boards, I worked with a 250 board and got them to understand like that you're not diverse. I'm not saying you should all quit your roles on this to give opportunities to other people. What you need to do is build that into your plan. So the next recruitment process, who are you going to? What are the recruiters you're using? How are they identifying candidates? Where is their bandwidth? Test them on it. Don't just take granted that they say, oh, we can get a diverse pool. How do they find the candidates, identify candidates that potential? Then look at your management team. Is it diverse? Is it diverse in lived experience? Lived experience. People just look at, oh, gender or color particularly and go, okay, well, we're ticking a box here. But it's not, it goes beyond that. It's lived experiences. Like you could be a straight white male, but have from a very low socioeconomic background, high performer in work, your lived experiences are really, really important too. And then build that in and operationalize it. And it takes time of work and effort. And I think people expect results now. Oh, well, why you say that data shows this, but we're not seeing that. Well, that data is because they've been doing it for a long time.
Yes. What is your own definition of diversity?
Diversity is cognitive. It's diversity of thought. It's use me and my brother as example.
Okay.
Both South Asian heritage. Grew up in the same house.
Yeah.
Same education and all of that, but we're quite different in our views.
Yes.
And we have different lived experiences. And I think that is what diversity is about. So it's tapping into those lived experiences. Another example I gave is when I was in corporate, both me and my boss had very nice cars. He lived 10 minutes down the road from me. And the example of how often do you think he got stopped on the way to work compared to how often I got stopped on the way to work?
Okay.
You know, or going for work, after work drinks.
Right.
Like when I walk into a pub, I always look for where the exits are. I've always done it just in case there's an issue that I have to get out. A white guy doesn't necessarily do that.
Wow. It's all about all these little things. And I totally agree with you. For me, again, is like diversity is a huge umbrella. And under it, we can find out so many different things that we can define as diversity. And it's important to open our eyes and see better all these little things that can define us and can be the differences between us, right? And I believe that we live in a very diverse world, and it's important to use this diversity in our own benefit. So, what advice do you have for startups and investors looking to prioritize diversity in their ventures?
Okay, for startups is operationalize it from day one. And what I mean by that is start building it. Like you could be going to go back to the two straight white guy founders, right? You can still build a diverse team
Mm-hmm.
to help tap into that lived experience, different viewpoints, being challenged,
Mm-hmm.
which is all important to building great companies. They're all of things, they're ingredients you need. So whether you're a startup or not, also it's really expensive to change a culture because embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion actually involves culture change within organizations.
Yes.
It's really expensive when you're big. You've got a defined culture already to then try and retrofit that. That
Mm-hmm.
takes time, energy, and effort. Why not build a company that already has that, puts you on a good place? Because at some point, if you're growing and scaling, you're going to have to do it. Do it
Yes.
for the beginning. You've already built it in. The costs are significantly cheaper.
So,
For the for the investor side, um, I think I don't think you invest on the basis of diversity necessarily, but you should widen your eyes to the pool of available options out there. Like great founders come from anywhere,
mhm,
great business people come from anywhere.
yeah.
But if you only swim in one swimming pool, like your deals come from only one side of the swimming pool, then you're not finding the outliers, you're just finding a subset of the outliers. Like start swimming in the whole pool and looking for the outliers.
Yeah, very important. Thank you for sharing that. How do you encourage leadership teams then to embrace diversity as a strategic imperative rather than just a checkbox exercise, as you mentioned before? And what measurable outcomes have you witnessed from this approach?
Um, I would say they need to start with themselves. So the work starts with the individuals to then come together collectively within leaderships to then go, look, we are lacking in these areas. We see holes and gaps. We're not question why. Why are we not getting people coming up? Why are we not embracing, say, women within the business who may leave or to have a family? Why are we not bringing them back in and giving them the opportunities? Like you have to be able to answer that question. Why is there a gender pay gap in this business? Are we building on the back of these people but not rewarding them fairly? What can they add? Look at alternatives for the way you recruit, for the way you provide education and training within your organizations, and build a plan that's right for your business, not taking somebody else's plan and trying to replicate. Because, as I said earlier, it's all about culture. It comes down to culture. You can't replicate culture. Like it can't be replicated. It's personal to your organization. And be honest, like mistakes happen. Be honest. If you have a person that you terminate for racism, don't then go in a meeting saying we lost a great engineer today. It's we terminated this person for racist. Sadly, he was a good engineer.
Okay, nice one. Yes. And I agree, it's all about culture and it's all about awareness, right? This is, having the real picture of what's going on in our business and in our team. And we can do that by being aware of our culture. Culture is the people we have in the business, right? So
Yeah.
we focus on these things. Mhm.
And looking at the metrics, like retention rates, because you have hired a black person, don't make them your token
Yes.
diversity person. They may not want that. They may not know, often people of color, women often get, oh, you can help with this because your gender, your race, your color, your sexual orientation. No, like they may have no interest in it. They probably don't have the skills. Like
Okay.
just because somebody is a female or person of color doesn't mean they're an expert in D&I,
Yes, true.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of businesses and teams do that. It's like this checkbox exercise. We have a woman or a person in color, and that means they have the solution to our problem. So they can solve the diversity issues we have in the team out of the sudden. But it's not the case, right? So we need to have more open conversations and understand better the people we have and understand their unique qualities and skills, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. So June is recognized as the month of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's the Pride Month. Could you share with us a significant initiative or project you're currently involved in that aims to advance DI within your community or industry, and how listeners can support or get involved?
Yeah, so at DiversityX, no single month is important. This is about generational change and systemic change. It takes time. So for instance, we did IWD on IWD. I had a big conference exactly where I am now.
Okay.
And it was fantastic. But what we intentionally made it was, you don't need to come and pitch today. You can just be yourself. And we did that. Then I started looking, and I was speaking with one of the community members who's from the LGBTQIA plus community. Said to him, look, I want to do something similar for your community, for our community, because DiversityX supports everybody. Should we do it in June? He's like, there's some issues around that. Like, so we've hit on a date. So we're going to do our focus falls in September.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter what time of year, as long as you provide the support, and it should be ongoing, like IWD as well. It's like, and Women's Month in March. It's not a one and done, like it's not a one and done thing. And I think if you only focus and provide support for conferences or whatever in those single celebratory months, then to an extent you're tick boxing, unless you're doing a lot more beyond that, and it's got to go beyond that. So I think we're working on a conference for the LGBTQ community. We'll have South Asian Heritage Month. So what we plan to do is spotlight some great South Asian founders from within the diversity community across the month. For Black History Month in the UK, we are looking at doing something around that as well. But it's not just those, like we continually want to support.
True. Okay, and so we're going to have the links on the description so people can find all the information they need and the way they can get involved. Any last advice, anything that you want to share with our listeners today before we end this episode?
Given this is on DEI, if you're a startup founder, start building it today. There's no right time to start building D&I into your organization. There's only now, and it's got to be done intentionally. Like, it isn't just about financial results. It is about doing the right thing and giving opportunities to people who will add to your organization. So start today.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for the motivation. Thank you for sharing all these important insights. I hope you enjoyed it, and all of you out there, I hope you enjoyed it too. And speak soon. Thank you.